I just want to quickly show you how science and the mystic teachings of Christianity tie in deeply. There was a story of Yeshua healing a blind man, and I argue that this story is being totally misunderstood. It was trying to convey something that we've lost. Now, I'm not saying there aren't miraculous healings, I've seen them, and of course I don't take away that side of it whatsoever. I don't take away that the human aligned deeply enough with source can impact and influence matter. In fact, there's a good argument that the pyramids of Egypt were actually all about that sacred understanding that humans can align so deeply with that highest vibration of unconditioned love they can influence matter around them without touching it, metaphysically through the quantum field. Well, there's a story where Yeshua heals a blind man. And what happens is that first of all, he meets the blind man and he can't see. So Yeshua spits in some mud and he covers the blind man's eyes. He then gets the blind man to take water and wash his eyes, and the blind man can now see. And so it seems pretty strange, but also it's done. Why did he need mud? There are elements there. If he's so powerful, why didn't he just do it? Well, that's because if you look at modern science, we have words that point at brainwave frequencies, and we point at those frequencies because we have now developed technology that registers them. So our words point at the frequencies that we see on a screen. And so we say beta, alpha, theta, delta to point at the frequencies registered on a screen. But in ancient times, before that technology existed, those brainwave frequencies were only known as states of consciousness. They were known as an experience of a state of consciousness. And so the ancients also had words for those states of consciousness that we now have apparatus to measure the change of in the brain. Earth, water, air, fire is the code, the label that the ancients gave to beta, alpha, theta, delta. When the human is stuck in the beta frequency, they are stuck in the construct of a self-image or an ego in a often disastrous way. If you want to do a lie detector test, you look for high beta frequency. If someone is addicted in a state of gluttony or drugs or whatever it may be, that is always coming from high beta frequency. And so when you get caught inside beta frequency, you become blind. The reason you become blind is because in that frequency state, you are undoubtedly retaining a lot of habit and also a self-image. And that self-image means that your human organism, it has a limited amount of RAM. And it needs that RAM free for your senses to have life revealed to it. When you are playing in beta frequency and you have the retention of this self-image, ego, its opinions, I know this, I know that, you look down on all of these traits of the arrogance and pride of man, feeling that somehow he had any say in how his heart's being beaten, etc., which is a state we get into. It all exists there. And that RAM used up by that means that you can't experience the freedom of awakening into the true presence of God's love. That's beta. When you start moving your body, beta, alpha, theta, delta, then you start to move into the thoughtless state where your senses are free in the moment to allow life to be revealed to it. And in that state there's an immense freedom and love that occurs. And there is a seeing that occurs. You begin to see the world without language and thought, instead of trying to understand the mystery and always throw things over it. And so as the vessel looks out at a tree, no longer does it say a tree, it sees this expression of living organism and realizes the word tree was only pointing at it. And so the RAM is now free for you to experience and have the senses lit up by the occurrence of actually partaking with your senses in that arising in consciousness and life that we have pointed at with the word tree. I hope that makes sense. And so Yeshua had to take earth, because the earth level of consciousness, beta, high beta, is blinding all of us. And of course this man had to move to water, to alpha, so as he could be free from being blinded by the arrogance of the beta programs of consciousness, the beta programs of the slave technology that make us feel separated from everything by our skin, instead of our skin connecting us to the world around us. And so this is why Yeshua had to heal the blind man in that way, because he was blind. But how was he blind is the question, because the vast majority of humans, they are blind. And they are being programmed in that blind state by a lot of elements of the system that doesn't care. And what we have to do is raise them up, as Yeshua told us mystically. We must raise them from earth to water. Better still, earth, water, air, fire. So you will raise from earth to water, then you'll meet Jesus in the air, as the Bible says, then you'll be baptized with fire. Beta, alpha, theta, delta. When you get into delta, you will move in the quantum field. And you will bring supernatural, mystic events into your life, and even healings into your life as well. I have witnessed it, I have seen others doing it. It's just a natural function of the human vessel, when it's not suppressed and retained in fight, flight and fear, in that beta state of consciousness. That was all. God bless, guys. Be well. That thanks to the love, support and sharing of the community that has followed us here on YouTube, we have been able to build a village for special needs children in crisis out in Tanzania. Our family in Tanzania is now made up of nearly 200 children. Most of these children have disabilities, and most of these children are among the most marginalized human beings in our human story. You have seen the suffering on this channel, I won't go over it, but these children had no access to housing, medical care, some were abandoned, and they certainly didn't get quality care, some of them. It is only thanks to the love, support and the partnership of persons in this community that we have been able to make this family a reality, that we have been able to bring these children out of the dark and into the light where they belong. To all who have partnered with what we do, thank you for your love and support. We simply can't do what we do without you. If you are not involved in our family and you are interested in helping us to eradicate this problem that we face inside the human story, eradicate this problem that these children are facing and don't need to face, then we have launched a new partnership program. If you visit www.sharetanzania.com/partnership, you will see all of the details there. Ultimately, these partnerships help us to sustain our family, to provide everything we need to these children to make sure they are happy. And in return with that, we will provide you with regular updates and a newsletter every month as well, so as you can see exactly how your act of love and sharing is impacting the world and the lives of these children, in the same way that I get to see it. Okay, that was all. Thank you for the love and support, guys.